high stakes for Pence speech at GOP convention. By Maureen Groppe, USA Today, Washington. The stakes were already high for Indiana Governor Mike Pence, who gives his vice presidential acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention Wednesday. He is not only giving the most important speech of his career to millions of Americans. The address is also a bit of a do-over after Pence was overshadowed by Donald Trump at Saturday's unveiling of the ticket in New York, where Pence spoke for 15 minutes, about half as long as Trump's rambling introduction. And Trump spoke more about himself than Pence, whom he reiterated was his first choice for a running mate despite reports to the contrary. Given that they sort of tripped over their rollout a bit, I think the vice presidential acceptance speech is perhaps more important for Governor Pence, said Joel Goldstein, a vice presidential scholar at St. Louis University School of Law. This is going to be the first time when the spotlight really shines on Governor Pence. Many are still learning about Pence, even in the convention hall packed with party activists. I don't know much about him, to be honest, said Florida Delegate Bill Paterson. But I've read up on him and I think he's going to bring a lot of the party that has been sitting on the sidelines. Pence already has a following among conservatives, some of whom had urged him to run for president in 2012. One of the biggest speeches of his career before this week was a 2010 address at the Family Research Council's Values Voter Summit, where he argued Republicans had to focus on both fiscal and social issues to win back the White House. Pence won the summit's presidential straw poll. Although he calls himself a small-town boy from southern Indiana, Pence never lacked for ambition, or shied from the chance to spread a conservative message. He ran twice for Congress before winning a seat in 2000. The former radio talk show host wasted no time in setting up a mini radio studio in his house office, the first lawmaker to do so. "This job is all about communication," he said. Pence quickly became one of the leaders among conservatives pushing back on spending, including the Medicare drug benefit and President George H.W. Bush's signature education bill. "I was Tea Party before it was cool," he has said. After unsuccessfully challenging Ohio Republican John Boehner for the top GOP leadership slot when Republicans lost the House majority in 2006, Pence was unanimously chosen in 2008 to head the Republican conference, where he had a key role in shaping the House GOP message. After leaving Congress to become governor in 2013, Pence made national news, but for controversial reasons, including signing and then backtracking on a bill that critics said allowed businesses to deny services to gays and lesbians, turning away the family of Syrian refugees because of security concerns, signing one of the nation's most restrictive anti-abortion laws. Mike Pence is known across the country for his anti-LGBT law and his outrageous intrusions into women's health, said Adrienne Watson, a spokesperson for Hillary Clinton's campaign. Pence has always put his party's ideology before what's best for Indiana. Pence's spokesperson did not respond to requests for comment about how he's preparing for the speech and what he hopes to accomplish. Here's a look at how Pence could handle the basic goals of a vice presidential acceptance speech. introducing himself to a national audience. An estimated 21.9 million TV viewers watched Vice Presidential nominee Paul Ryan's acceptance speech in 2012. Pence could use the eyeballs. Nearly 9 in 10 registered voters questioned in a CBS News/New York Times poll this month were undecided or didn't know enough about Pence to have an opinion. And the GOP ticket's joint 60 Minutes interview that aired Sunday may not have helped much. Trump frequently interrupted Pence and talked more than twice as much as his running mate, Goldstein said. Instead of letting Pence project that he's his own man, Trump seemed to have him on a leash, said David Lublin, a professor at American University's School of Public Affairs. He looked a little like Trump's poodle, Lublin said. Although Pence won't have to share the microphone Wednesday, he will be immediately preceded by Newt Gingrich, another outsized personality and former House Speaker who was a finalist for the slot Pence got. And Pence could get knocked out of the news if something unexpected happens at a convention not lacking in surprises and short on message discipline. The story will be about something else, if it's more interesting, even if Pence gives a good, substantive speech, Lublin said. Making the case for Trump. Pence doesn't know Trump very well, and they differ on policies and style. Pence has tried to smooth over differences between the pair on such issues as trade, his vote for the war in Iraq, and whether Muslims should be banned from the United States. And Pence has been comparing Trump to the man who inspired Pence to become a Republican after growing up in the family of Irish Catholic Democrats. Pence said Ronald Reagan had extraordinary humility and an unshakable faith in the capacity of the American people to achieve greatness and astound the world. I hear it and I see it in the man I think will be the next president of the United States, he said of Trump. But while Pence, who calls himself a happy warrior, has tried to emulate the optimism for which Reagan is remembered, Trump's message has a different tone. Donald Trump wants to make America great again, but he's also sort of apocalyptic, Lublin said. Attacking the other side. Pence has gotten his biggest response from crowds in making the case against Clinton, and that's likely to be the case again Wednesday. Pence told conservative activists Tuesday that Obama and Clinton have weakened America's place in the world and stifled the nation's economy. We must decide here and now that Hillary Clinton will never become President of the United States of America, he said to sustained applause at a gathering of the American Conservative Union Foundation. Uniting the party. Asked what Pence needs to do in his speech, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson had a one-word response: unified. Johnson said, "That's what all of us have to do.